So let's talk a minute about inspiration. That feeling of being whooshed up into just pure ideas, and you feel like this must be what it feels like to be a genius. And it's not about what inspired you. It's about the fact that you're in that state of just feeling like you're on fire. And if you could harness this, you could make your billions. And whatever, this inspiration is leading you to. So find that feeling for a minute. Just this feeling of go, go, go. Oh my gosh, here it is. You don't need caffeine. You don't need anything to step into that. You're just already there. You're on fire. You feel like you could do cartwheels. You feel like the whole universe just opened up to you with whatever wisdom it is. It just opened up to you. That inspiration is uniquely yours. It's yours. See, try to remember there's not another you out there. There's nobody out there that thinks like you, that has the brilliant ideas that you have, that understands whatever, make it a law of attraction or manifestation, whatever, in the unique way that you understand it. See how you play with these things from a space of excitement and joy and just excited anticipation for the possibility that can come with your particular dream in this moment, what you're dreaming of, what you're seeing in your mind's eye. That's all yours. And there's a reason that dream is talking to you, not to your brother, your sister, your best friend, or whatever, or your inspiration coach, or whoever. There's a reason this dream is talking to you. There's a reason this inspiration is talking to you. So it's so important that when your guru or whoever it is you're putting up on a pedestal says something, and it opens up that inspiration for you, not the way they said it, but from the way that you latched on and evolved it. You took it up. You took it from best to even better. You, this brilliant, amazing person that is you. Try to, isn't that just a wonderful space? Just kind of be with that for a minute. Be with the absolute pride, being proud of the fact that your ideas have never been heard of before, because there's never been a you on this planet. You are so beautifully, beautifully unique, so beautifully wonderful. And your ideas are just as brilliant. Your inspirations are just as absolutely 100% true as Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, And what's lighting you up is the truth, is the knowing that this is true. This is true. Now, zoom into the fact that this is your world, right? You are walking through your world uniquely. Nobody sees the world the way you do. Nobody feels the way you do. Nobody has the same ideas as you do. We have 8 billion people on this planet, and there isn't another one of you. You are unique, just like all these flowers here. This is last year's, or maybe the year before's tulips. This year we still got lots of snow on the ground. So, and that's another thing. No 2 years are alike. Last year at this time there wasn't any snow to be seen, and the ground was dry, and the flowers were coming up, and everything was just perfect, right? This year, completely different. And it's funny how we try to force our reality each day that goes by to be predictable. There's this comfort in predictability. Oh, there's such a comfort in predictability. But that's not who you are. You have never been a predictable being. From the moment you were born, nobody could predict what you were going to do in the next minute. Were you going to start walking? Were you going to choose, I don't want to walk? My friend's granddaughter is 2 years old and she's just not really talking yet. Does that mean there's something wrong with her? Oh my God, take her to the doctor. Da, 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 da. See, again, that's us trying to create a predictable world. But no two beings are alike. No two flowers are alike. No two snowflakes are alike. Every one of them is unique and glorious unto itself. And if we can just embrace that gorgeous uniqueness, just celebrate it to the highest. So when I'm doing my podcast and I have somebody come on, or I'm working with a client and they don't see the world the way I do, I think that's glorious. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that I get to see them through my own lens. I get to see them through the way I see the world. And they get to do the same with me. And I love that we all are so celebratory. You know, it's to have a world of such huge social media now. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be of the generation where we didn't have all that, right? We didn't have social media. We didn't even have computers. We thought phones that you would hold in your hand and take around with you everywhere. And these phones had absolute access to everything all around the world, whether it be news or TV or movies or books or your best friend or whatever, or you could call your grandmother or whatever, or even just text to them. You don't even have, text wasn't even a thing. Text meant something completely different. But to now be part of a world that has such radical new amazing things required us to be open to the new, to be open to it. You know, some of us went into it, I'm one of them, grudgingly. I always joke that I was the very last person on the face of the earth to get a cell phone. It was a flip phone. Yeah, right. But you know, and the change is so rapid. And, you know, you get people that say that, you know, things used to be much more calm and slow. And maybe that was true. I don't know. Again, it's, you look at life through your own unique lens. And your unique lens is being inspired by this wonderful inside voice. That's what's guiding you. That's what's guiding this person over here to have these ideas on how to do social media this way. And then you get the people that try to follow their recipe rather than following their own recipe, the one that's whispering to them, the one that's guiding them, the one that lit that initial fire, you know, that thing that lit them up. Just because nobody else gets lit up by this, but you do, doesn't mean you shouldn't follow it. And what happens when you try to slow down your own inspiration in order to follow somebody else's way of doing things, somebody else's techniques? Do you think we would be anywhere close to an age of cell phones and the amazing technological advances that we have if people didn't follow their own voice, didn't follow those dreams, the dreams of an airplane, the dreams of on and on and on? So what makes those people's dreams better than yours? Not a damn thing. But they listened despite every and anything that might have come up against them. They knew this is what lit them up, and they followed it. They followed the breadcrumbs of inspiration. And so when somebody is up on a stage and telling you about how to do the law of assumption this way, or how to do the law of attraction that way, and it's just not working for you, so you think you're doing something wrong, that's when I'm going to grab you and I'm going to shake the fuck out of you and say, no, you're trying to follow their dream. And that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. And that's never been the way it works. Do you think any one of these flowers is chatting with the one next door to it going, okay, how are your stripes going to be? My stripes are going to be this way. How are your stripes going to be? Well, what colors are you going to, when you finally open up, what colors are you going to have? No, they're just living their unique little flower life. And their stripes and their petals, and they're going to be outrageously unique, every single one of them. I I am so fortunate that I get to interact. Now, when I'm putting all these bulbs in the ground, I'm not thinking I'm so fortunate. But the person who buys all these bulbs that I get to put them in the ground will buy thousands, thousands. And over the years of working with these people, I can't tell you how many thousands of these bulbs I put in the ground. And when they come up, if they come up, some don't. We have no idea what they're going to look like because he gets this mixed bag of bulbs. So we have no idea what color they're going to be, what shape they're going to be, if they're going to be tiny, if they're going to be tall, if they're going to be short, if they're going to have little fringes, if they're going to be red or orange or pink or blue or purple. We have no idea. Each one of those flowers that pops up is a surprise. Number one, it's a surprise if they even make it. It's also a surprise, and yet they do it. They do it. And each one is like, oh my God, I can't take enough pictures. I'm trying to do my work and I can't do my work because I'm out there taking pictures and more pictures. And none of these pictures do it justice. But see, I like to go on these little tangents. But guys, that's what's uniquely me. And this channel and these videos I do, they are me following an inspired idea, something that lit me up, something that sets me on fire. And you know it is because I'm talking like I'm on a whole pot of coffee, which I just might be. Actually, these days, I'm very much a decaf person. But you have these inspirations all day long. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of times it's not the inspired idea you didn't follow, okay? Because there's just going to be another one right on its tails. When I was driving around the US and doing my nomad thing, oh my God, time after time after time, there would be this amazing view that I just wanted to pull over. And there was this inspired idea to pull over and look, but I didn't do it. I just kept going. And then the very next turn around the road, there was even something more glorious and beautiful. And everything in me was going, stop, pull over, take a picture. But there were times where I'm like going, I can't stop my car again. I've only driven 2 miles and I've already stopped 10 times. I can't do that again. I can't. And there's parts of me that are like, oh, I wish I had pulled over. But it's neither here nor there. It's just the fact that there's just another one right around the corner. It's not going to make or break you. There's another inspiration right around the corner. And what if that is this existence? It's just this interaction with that fire, that thing that lit you up, that guided you over here. And guys, when these inspirations arise and you pay attention to them or you don't, it doesn't matter. You can't plan that. right? You can't, for as much as we try, for as much as we try to grasp onto this reality and mold it the way we need it to be, that need, that desperate trying to think a certain way and trying to be a certain way, that doesn't come from inspiration. That doesn't have that light you up excitement. Oh my God, I got to tell you about this. Please listen, listen. This is so exciting. It doesn't have that. So, what the point of this video is try to remember that fire. Don't try and create it. Because if one thing I've learned over and over and over is you can't, if you ever been a pot, you watch a potter, you know, the spinning wheel with clay, you can't make the same thing happen again. You just can't. And, you know, the same thing with the flowers and the same thing with you. You cannot recreate. You can have your most perfect singer in the world, you know, throw out a name for me: Barbara Streisand, Celine Dion. I don't know, if you like opera, you probably have your, you know, Pavarotti, whoever. You, they're, you're never going to find another one like them. Even though there's people who can mimic, they can mimic pretty good, there's something missing there, because they are, they're not bringing in their own unique, they're not celebrating their own uniqueness quite as much. And so when it comes to Tony Robbins or this or that, you can't, you can't follow their recipe to the T. You just can't, because it's stifling that your inspiration, you following the breadcrumbs of your own inspiration. Your own inspiration has its own way of doing things, because there's never been a you before. This world has never seen the likes of you, ever. And with the likes of you becomes new, new, new. It is one new after another. And how many of us backpedal away from the new because that's not familiar? I'm not sure what to do. But the most beautiful, wonderful, brilliant things that I remember and I know came from inspiration, came from that phone call out of the blue. Oh my God, I love the out of the blue phone calls, the ones that are guiding me. And the coolest thing you get to do, the coolest thing is that you get to look at these fantastical times of inspiration, and then you get to look at the ho-hum boring times, and you get to look around and say, okay, I love this state of inspiration. I love that state of mind, that state of being on fire. I love that. And you get to look around you and say, okay, what is supporting that? What, you know, it could just be a meme. It could just be the flowers of that day. It could be, who knows? You know, it could be a book you're reading or whatever. And have you ever noticed that you'll be reading a certain passage or you're listening to a certain seminar, and this speaker says something and it just launches you to the moon. It just sends you off in the biggest epiphany ever, and you're like, oh my God, I got to write that down. But then later on you go to reread it to have that same amazing feeling, and it doesn't happen. And all those brilliant thoughts that came with that feeling and that sentence and what set off that state, it doesn't happen again. You ever notice that? That's that part of us that tries to constantly recreate. It's literally you walking backwards. And honestly, as a person who likes to walk backwards for knee health, it's very good for your knees, by the way, but it's hard to do. It's a very hard thing to do. There's a reason why your eyes are on the front. There's a reason why your nose and your mouth and everything is on the front. There's a reason why your feet and your knees are shaped and bend a certain way, because walking backwards is not normal. It is not natural. And when you try to walk backwards with your inspirations and you try and slow things down to recreate, well, how's that working out for you, babe? I mean, honestly, how's that working out for you? Yeah. When you first are learning how to walk, which way do you constantly go? Naturally, not backwards, not side to side. Not to say that there isn't a benefit in practicing things that way, but mentally, no. You're always going forward into new, new, new. As a small child, when you're learning how to walk, and then you're learning how to, oh, let's say you're learning how to eat, then you're learning how to walk, and then you're learning how to jump and stand, and it's always a forward march. It's always a forward march. Never, ever, ever do you stop. Never. When you have twins that are side by side, and one of them is learning how to walk and the other one is observing, do they do it all at the exact same time? No. They each have their own time to learn how to walk and talk and do their thing. But you don't stop. Never has ever has life said, okay, you hit this age and then now you stop growing. No. I think it's only when we stop growing that we die. So open your arms wide to the unknown inspirations that are coming your way, because the past inspirations are past. They're already gone. Just like when I was driving down that road and I couldn't even tell you where that amazing cliff I saw with the unbelievable colors. I can't even tell you where it is. I don't remember what highway. I don't even remember what state I was in. Was it Wyoming, Montana? I don't know. It was one of those. They're all amazing. Probably Wyoming. But I still, there's no way. And to stop and go back and regret and feel guilt and regret, and by the way, regret, that's not love. So you're either following love and the inspirations that are in love, because that's the only place inspirations come from, babe, or you might be in a space of fear, and fear is walking backwards. Truly. Again, as a person who walks backwards, every single time I'm practicing my walking backwards, because it's good for my knees, I am in a bit of a state of fear. I am never just confidently flying forward. Never. No. There is a constant looking around behind me going, okay, am I going to run into something? Am I going to hit a patch of ice? Am I going to fall on my ass? What are these people thinking of me walking backwards? I don't care. I'm walking backwards. It doesn't matter. But guys, of course, everything I'm talking about is in that mental state, in that emotional state of eagerly moving forward and following your inspirations, whatever they may be. See, the thing about inspirations is a lot of times, in fact, most of the time, they are only unique to you. And no matter how much you try and explain them, people aren't always going to get them. In fact, very rarely is anybody going to get them. So sometimes it can be very hard to follow your inspiration because nobody else is lighting on fire. Nobody else is like, oh my God, that's the best idea. Do it. Now, there might be somebody around you who is extremely supportive and is like, oh, that's a great idea. You should do that. You should follow that. And I have that in one of my very good friends. But I know that person still doesn't quite get it, because the very next day, if I'm looking for that person to be that high vibing and that supportive of my inspiration, it isn't going to happen. See, that inspiration, that support, that excitement, that all of that is only within me. And when you follow that and when you celebrate that as big as you can in the moment, instead of letting it all just fly on by. There are times when I'm listening to people and I literally will stop. I'll stop, put it on pause and just really follow what just lit me up. And I'm going to tell you guys, the more I follow my inspirations, whether it's just an idea or a thought or an actual action or whatever, the more, and honestly, to say my life gets more amazing is, I don't know how the hell my life can get more amazing. I really don't know how, but of course it always can. Of course, there can be a new tulip coming up that I've never ever seen before, and me going, holy cow, I thought I've seen them all. This is off the charts. How the heck did they do this? How the heck did they make these colors now? You know, and some of them are familiar and some of them are brand new. And guys, this is your life. This is your calling of your life. So my point is, celebrate your uniqueness and everything about you that is unique. Your ideas, please celebrate your ideas, guys. This world needs your ideas so badly, so badly. And once again, don't look for somebody to validate your ideas, because there's nobody out there like you. And not one of these flowers or these billions and trillions of snowflakes and everything, they're not looking for validation for their uniqueness. They're just celebrating it. They're just throwing it out to the world. Here I am. Here I am. Love me, hate me, it doesn't matter. I am still here. There are so many of these tulips that never get seen, and yet they're still as vibrant and open to the sun and the sky and this world. They come in, they make this enormous splash, and then they go. Now, for you, as a being that has never stopped existing, oh my gosh, to step onto the stage and shine your brilliant light in every moment to the best of your ability, oh, what a world that would be. A world where you never, ever dimmed your light, your unique, amazing light, whether you had 2 people in your audience or you had 2 billion. You never stop dimming your light. You never stop celebrating the uniqueness, the beauty, the wonder that is you. Yesterday's video was about fierce love, the fierce love that life has for you. Today's video is about the fierce love that you have for you. And not to need the validation of anybody else out there. And you guys know when I'm talking about these videos, my number one person I'm talking to is always me. It's always me. Always. And then if something arises from there, great. There's so many times I'm like, oh, I got to make my videos shorter. I can't go on and on like that. And I'll delete it, and then I'll never put out another video. And I know better than that. I know better than to edit or stop it or whatever. Guys, I will always be your number one person to say yes to your unique ideas, your inspiration. If you called me up and said, Kristen, I have this inspiration to do this, and this, I'm going to be the person that's going to go, wow. I will be the first wow. I will be the first applaud. I will be the first one to give you the high five and to keep pushing you to follow that beautiful, unique inspiration. I love the uniqueness that is you. I love it. And even if I completely don't get it, or I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean it isn't still perfect. How many times did the person who had the idea of the cell phone or the airplanes or the cars or the wheel get a funny look? But they stuck to it. And so my biggest desire for you, stick to it. Find those inspirations. You know what lights you up. You know what you seek out. Is it more on a quantum mysticism type level, or is it something more physical, or is it more IT? It doesn't matter. What idea, when you are in your dreamiest of dreams, what is it you are doing? What are you doing? Is it writing a book? Or yes, I just want to write. That's all I want to do is write and write and write. I have so many people that are like, Kristen, you need to write another book. That is not inspiring to me at all. It's not inspiring to me. That when I stop to feel like I need to write a book, or anytime I start trying to write a book, no, I can write blogs. Ooh, I can write great blogs. But to write a whole motherfucking book, no, there's no inspiration there. Now, to do this, to do a video or to get up live and to do a seminar like this, oh, baby, there you go. And to follow it, no matter for how many years. It's not about time. It's not about years. It's just about that lighting up. It's about becoming that shooting star. You know how many shooting stars happen in the sky and you never, ever see them? Nobody ever sees them, but they're still there. They're still brilliant and beautiful and amazing. And there are going to be times where people see you being a shooting star, and there are going to be times where nobody sees it. But you still got to experience that light, that, oh my God, this is so much fun. Oh my God, I love doing this. I love being this. I love being in my mind. I love being in my body when I'm like this. I love it. You know how much fun it would be to be a shooting star? How exciting would it be when all the other stars are doing nothing, but you are shooting across the sky? It's just internally a blast. So down below, I want you to give yourself a little fierce love and claim to the world your dream. And I don't care if it's sprouting wings and flying. I don't care how ridiculous, how preposterous it feels. I want you to take a step into courageous. I want you to take a step into bold. And I want you to claim right now your dream. I want you to honor that unique aspect of you that has been knocking on the door, that has been asking for you to acknowledge it. Again, this idea, this inspiration came to you for a reason. You, not me, not anybody else, not Albert Einstein. It came to you. And now, because you've made it this far in this video, it is now asking you, inspiring you, going, can you be that brave to claim it? To however it presents to you, however it wants to be written out. This is you. You are the only one seeing this, feeling this, knowing this, feeling the delight and the desire and the fierce want of this. Oh, can you imagine a dream coming to you and then all of a sudden you just fiercely, fiercely want it more than anything else? All right, claim it below, guys. Love you. Bye.